Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And welcome to the Main Street Cinema, the show where we discuss the finer points of filmmaking. Dragon, do you know what time it is?
Oscar time?
It's Oscar time!
Okay. Wrong show.
I know, I just randomly gave the Oscars the Price is Right theme song. So, Dragon, this might be... I'm going to have to go back and kind of cross-reference this, but I want to say, out of all the years I've been like a serious movie fan and covering the Academy Awards and everything, this might be the first year that I actually kind of lucked out and have been able to see all 9 of the nominated films.
Lucky.
Now, having said that, Dragon, kind of a hot take right off the bat, out of the 9 nominated films, I will say, maybe 6 of the 9 actually deserve their nomination. But which 6, Dragon?
Wow.
But of course, we're not talking about Best Picture just yet. We're going to build to that. Overall, Dragon, I got to be honest right off the bat. I like the Academy Awards this year. The nominations just they're so all over the place, and frankly, I think there's holes left and right with it. It's like they got the essentials down okay. It's just there were no real surprises, and at the same time, it's like. It almost kind of felt like as comic book fans just, like prolonging the inevitability of like, yep, Logan's not going to get Best Picture. It's not going to get Best Actor. It's not going to get Best Supporting Actor. I don't know. There's something a little bit discouraging about that. Like, you and I had serious talks when Coco first opened about that, potentially. And I still think Coco just culturally, historically, very much warrants a Best Picture nomination, but no, and that was never even part of a conversation, Dragon. Like, they didn't have a snowball's chance in hell of nominating Coco for Best Picture.
Yeah, and it really deserved it. It really did deserve the Best Picture. Like, we'll get that snub out of the way right now. Again, we'll save some others for when we build.
So I don't know, Dragon. At this point, I've got to say, like, well, most of the winners, I think most of the winners are going to be easy to predict. Yeah. And a lot of the time, like, snub or not, no matter who would have gotten in against a lot of these winners, they probably would have won regardless. Of course, this is me predicting. But at the same time, I just feel like there's certain people who really should have gotten spotlighted this year. I mean, there's some painful omissions here, folks.
And you see, folks, what we'd love to do here with kind of the Oscar predictions is that it's very much like this is our Super Bowl. The Academy Awards is really kind of it's really our Super Bowl in terms of that's.
I mean, that's Comic-Con, I guess.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if I had to really pick one, yeah, Comic-Con. But I'm just saying, I think for you, the movie fan, and many people.
And then for me, it's like D23, but that's a whole different story.
Now we're just splitting hairs, just cutting down my point, just because
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the Academy Awards, it's a big deal. It can be fickle, and we're going to call them like, oh, that play was BS, but we're going to talk about it with with Hollywood and the system and the actors and nominees and such. So yeah, it's pretty much kind of kind of a betting game, if you will. We're portraying oddsmen on this, if you will. Like who should win, who will win most likely, who should have been on the docket, who should not be on the docket. All of those wondrous questions. Right. Will be answered. And also we'll have some rants along the way. Should we start with the first rant of the evening?
The rant about the website?
Yes!
Yeah, I mean, that's basically all you, man. Take the floor.
Folks, I'm going to tell you this. Tiki and I, we usually like to do, because, again, we like to represent the Oscars in all their glory. We like to give them, it's the big 9-0. It's the big, 90th. I hate how they're marketing it as,
it's the...
90 scars.
Yeah,
that's kind of what they're marketing it as. The scars of the 90s, 90 scars. It's like, yeah, we're
kind of like the spiritual successor to We Love the 90s.
Yeah, it's very much like we've been scarred by the '90s. That's kind of what they're going for there. So, regardless of just that poor marketing right off the bat, what I'm really ranting about is I usually with Tiki and I like to do. We like to kind of get the vibe of the Oscars as much as we can. We go to the official Oscars website usually, and we like to scroll through and just kind of go to the categories. And that's how we kind of usually structure this whole thing. Unfortunately, this year, and I swear to God, folks, we're not like Michigan J Frog in this for you here. I swear to God. A few weeks ago, they asked that really nice layout. They built they build the best picture. The director and best picture. They're kind of towards the tail end. At the top of the list, and you go basically work away from the bottom to the top, right? And they also had images, and they even had this wonderful thing where they kind of upgraded that for like the following week to, hey, it's trailers. You could actually have the trailers in the movie if you want to check it out. And now, what's been being kind of stuck with is now it's just bland white text of just like, hey, these are the
And not only that,
nominees.
Dragon, the thing that gets me, the thing that really just sticks in my craw is like, you know what? You know that nice, concise order that we laid out for you guys? Nah, you guys don't deserve it. As a matter of fact, we're going to roughly have Best Picture kind of be like, like 3/4 of the way into the list.
Exactly. So the point is, folks, it really let us down how the formatting of the Oscars website really went this year. So we had to go to a different
I mean, I
source, but
really
it's
feel
just
like the web programmer just crapped himself on that job, Dragon. I really do.
I'll bet you what it is, Tim. I'm gonna have a crazy Oscar theory here. I'm gonna bet you what it is.
Oh
It's
God.
that one guy. It's that one guy who screwed up with the envelopes last year. He
Oh
got
no.
demoted, and he
That
got
one guy
demoted to
is
the
back.
website. That one guy got demoted because they didn't want to mess with the envelopes. They put him on the website. Okay, it's like he's like the nephew of the Oscar committee. He's the nephew of one of the Oscar committee guys, and he's been demoted. No, we can't fire him. He's family. Okay, just put him on something he's going to do less harm. Put him on the Oscar website. At least if he screws up, who's going to care? Well, we care.
Yeah, but you
So
know what, Dragon? I don't think anyone cares about what we think. So there's the issue.
all right. Anyway, so mini rant aside, let's work our way to the big Kahuna. What we're seeing
Yeah.
before us here. We got to
I
earn
guess
this.
we
We
might
got
as
to earn
well
this,
promote
folks.
Variety for providing us with it's not a perfect list, but it's a list that at least kind of goes up from, level of importance, building to Best Picture at the very least.
Yeah, we tried to spice it up, folks. We're just working what we got here. So yeah.
Okay, visual effects, Dragon. I'm going to say right off the bat, this is an incredibly strong list. And besides maybe kind of the Kubo and the two strings of it all of, hey, Coco, visual effects, there's nothing I would change about this list, really. Even
Yeah,
I've heard some people say Wonder Woman just for the diversity. You know what? Screw that. It's like Wonder Woman does not stand toe to toe with any of these 5 movies in terms of visual effects.
in
So
terms
we
of
have
visual
Blade Runner
effects,
2049. Hold on, let me run them down. We have Blade Runner 2049. We have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Kong Skull Island, Star Wars Last Jedi, and War for the Planet of the Apes.
right?
Like
So
I
a very
said,
solid list, no
not a
snubs.
bad one in the bunch.
Yeah, no real snubs as far as I can see.
Mhm.
Now, okay, let's get into our predictions. Let's start with Should and we'll get to Will. So,
Okay.
Should, who I want to win, who I think deserves to win for visual effects very easily, War for the Planet of the Apes.
I would have said that before I saw Blade Runner.
Now, again, that's my 2
And you
cents.
haven't seen Blade Runner, so that keep in mind, folks, as we're going through this. Like, I've seen some movies, Dragon's seen other movies.
Tiki's seen most of the movies. He's seen at least. Tiki, tell me if this figure is anywhere close. I'm gonna say Tiki's seen 85% of the Oscar nominations.
Yeah, roughly. I mean, I've
80%,
seen
like,
all the Best Picture winners or the Best Picture nominees, and Best Picture nominees kind of trickle down. So,
Well, just tell us when you get to a movie, not counting the foreign stuff. When you get to a movie you haven't seen, all right?
okay, I'll do that.
Basically, okay. Aside from the niche stuff, Tiki
Actually,
is.
it's coming up. It's coming up in the next category. Actually,
Okay. Well, so anyway, so I think I'm just saying, based on how I'm rewatching War for the Planet of the Apes, I'm still amazed by that and the effects. And again, I'm lumping it with my with kind of another kind of snub we have in another category. But again, just the performance that is communicated through visual effects. It's like the marriage between performance and visual effects. So I think visual effects really should get credit where credit's due at the very least for that performance. So that's where I really think I think my 2 cents that it should get it for visual effects. Now, here's who I think will get it for visual effects. I agree with Tika in that I really think Blade Runner's going to get it.
Okay, Dragon, I'm actually kind of I think that I'm kind of in the camp where I think War for the Planet of the Apes will and should get the award.
Yeah.
As much as I like Blade Runner 2049, I feel like they're definitely going to honor 2049 in other categories, specifically cinematography. I feel like cinematography is going to be a big deal because Roger Deakins has never won an Academy Award before, shockingly enough. So really, I feel like that's the technical award they're going to be holding out for Blade Runner.
Oh man, we're gonna have some differing theories as this thing goes on. Like, oh boy, it's
so
gonna
with that in mind, I definitely think War for the Planet of the Apes is kind of the favorite, and as it should be. I mean, you know, like people didn't fall in love with War for the Planet of the Apes as much as you and me did, by and large. But I mean, just on a technical level, that trilogy is just insane what they accomplished.
Well, believe me, folks. Again, I really hope it wins. I really do. So I'm just with all of these, even if I say it will win, I'm still hoping that my should categories are going to win here. I really hope that War for Planet of the Apes wins. I'm going to be delayed if I'm wrong on that. So,
all right, okay. So costume design. So we have Beauty and the Beast, Darkest Hour, Phantom Thread, The Shape of Water, and Victoria and Abdul. Dragon, I have not seen Victoria and Abdul.
I don't even know what that is. So.
It's like about
Queen, I mean, I have
Victoria befriending some Middle Eastern guy. I don't know.
I was thinking of something more ridiculous, and hey, it's someone named Victoria being Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh God!
But okay, no, again, I'm not even a sports fan, so I just like the name.
This is really simple. There's absolutely no way that anything besides Phantom Thread is going to win in this category.
You know what's funny? So I watched the trailer of Phantom Thread. I have not seen it yet. It looks good. I'm going to give it that. It looks interesting. It doesn't necessarily grab me in the trailer.
It didn't strike my interest. I mean, to me, it was my least favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie. We'll talk about. I'm sure we'll talk more about Phantom Thread as we go through it.
Well, sure. Well, I'm just saying again, just like a first glimpse. Again, I watched the trailer for the first time. Like the first full, I watched the trailer all the way through with this, like the first time today. So man, again, it looks interesting. I like the whole seamstress thing, like the secret sewn into the clothing. That seems kind of cool. And the title's also kind of nice, but I mean, I'll say this: just add the movies that I've seen, in this category. I've seen Beauty and the Beast, and I've seen The Shape of Water, and again, I've gotten a vibe just from the stuff I've seen of I've seen the trailer Phantom Thread, I've seen the trailers, a few trailers for Darkest Hour. Got nothing on Victoria and Abdul, sorry, but
watch Victoria and Abdul win.
I'll say this much: I think my predominant theory is I think Shape of Water is going to get clean up as much as it can during this. So I'm going to say I think you're right. I think Phantom Thread will get it, but I think
Shape of Water should get it.
That's the thing. I think Shape of Water, if Phantom Thread doesn't get it, I think Shape of Water absolutely
will. Phantom Thread is going to win, basically just because it's like, hey, look at all these neat costumes and neat dresses. But Shape of Water should win because Shape of Water really, it stylistically told a story through everything in that movie. Including the costumes, you know what I mean? Every component of that movie, from the lighting to the music to the, to the way the camera moved, it all kind of worked in unison with each other, and the costumes were no different.
Sure. And again, I just think, the one advantage, and absolutely, Phantom Thread does have that advantage over in the regard of, it's really sold on the clothing, the thread of it all. It's all seamed in there, man. It's all threaded together. But I mean, I take your point. I really think though, with the story in relation to kind of all the components coming together, I think it's definitely going to clean up in that with that explanation for a lot of other categories. So we'll see how that goes as we keep going. So let's see, makeup and hair.
Makeup and hair. We have Darkest Hour. We have Victoria and Abdul. And we have a movie that I actually really wanted to see, but I never got around to it, Dragon Wonder.
They just left the other half of Wonder Woman off that. They left the woman part off that.
It's not Professor Marston and the Wonder Women either.
No. But I think, come on, this to me, again, I haven't seen the other two, bear in mind, but I'm just saying, I think it's a no-brainer, though. Come on, Darkest Hour. Come on.
Darkest Hour's got to win this. This is a no-brainer.
Look at the makeup. Yeah. I don't even need to see the movie to give it makeup and hair. Come on.
Trust me, I've got some strong choice words to say about Darkest Hour. Darkest Hour is my least favorite of the Best Picture nominees.
Really? Really high on
that. For makeup, it deserves it.
It's fascinating. You were really high on it when you were you were selling me on that movie. I remember.
Was I really?
Well, yeah, you were. I'm pretty sure you said this to me. You said basically if you could splice Dunkirk and Darkest Hour together, you would.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it a great movie on its own, though.
That implies that Gary Oldman did something right.
I'm not hyped about Darkest Hour. We'll get there.
Okay. Well, anyway, so regardless, just for makeup alone, again, how Gary Oldman transforms.
I will say that there's others that could have been nominated. Guardians Volume 2 definitely comes to mind.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good point. Here's my issue though, and at a point. And bear in mind, the Oscars are fickle, and the fact they don't honor this in the past makes they could always make up for lost time by nominating Guardians and giving it a shot.
I'm trying to think of other good biopics that we got this year that would have been good in this category.
Well, Disaster Artist possibly.
Disaster Artist, yeah, of course. There's the whole thing with the Disaster Artist.
They had the subtle makeup going on there, and it was successful. So that's it's subtlety on makeup. But again, I think regardless, it's that Churchill makeup is flawless. And I forget when LBJ came out. If that came out, then that would be the run. That would definitely give Darkest Hour a run for its money. But I can't remember when that came out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I think it was last year, which means it would be eligible, but I can't recall. So
yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, it does look awfully sparse. So maybe Disaster Artist was nominated then pulled. I don't know. It's so sparse makeup and hair. But Guardians would be it's consistent. They have to look that good. It's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, so original song, we have Mighty River from Mudbound, Mystery of Love from Call Me By Your Name, Remember Me from Coco, Stand Up For Something from Marshall, and This Is Me from The Greatest Showman.
I'm going to say this much. I'm going to be really mad if This Is Me wins.
Are you another person who's just over the Greatest Showman hype train, Dragon?
I'm just saying I'm gonna call BS.
This is me.
Remember Me,
pretty much the most radio friendly, trite, hey, this is an anthem for anybody.
Tiki, it's Battle of the Me's as far as I'm concerned, and it's very simply. Remember Me doesn't get it, there's gonna be Coco fans rioting in the street. I swear to you, come on. Remember
Unless Mystery of Love gets it.
Really?
Mystery of Love basically makes that movie, Dragon. It kind of weaves its way throughout that whole movie.
Well, regardless, I'm putting on the chips.
I'm okay, at this point, Dragon, I'll just say it. As much as I love Remember Me, and I do think that Remember Me will win, part of me, maybe it's just because I've been following Sufjan Stevens' career for a long time, and so I'm kind of connected to him anyways, but I really would like to see Sufjan Stevens pull out a win on this one.
All right, well, we'll see where it goes. Again, folks, Remember Me.
Though I have to say goodbye.
Remember me. Don't let it make you cry.
Okay, original score, we have Dunkirk.
Dunkirk.
We have Phantom Thread, Shape of Water, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
I think it's a pretty solid, all around, I think, solid nominees for score.
Yeah, honestly, there's really... I would say if I were to actually swap something out, I would maybe swap out the score for 3 Billboards for the score for Darkest Hour. Like I said, I'm underwhelmed by Darkest Hour, but Darkest Hour did have a pretty captivating score to it. Okay, Dragon, this category is very complicated because I feel like 3 Billboards doesn't really stick out to me. Just in general, Dragon, 3 Billboards is a good movie. I don't think it's a great movie. I feel like it's being kind of overhyped because of the political stuff going on with it.
I get you on that one. Yeah, I have my stuff to say about 3 Billboards. I wouldn't still like. I really like this. That one feels very much like an HBO movie. I'm basically how I watch
basically El Camino Christmas is a better version of sort of the white trash crime stuff that 3 Billboards was trying to pay off. So just think, like, and ironically enough, El Camino Christmas should have been the low rent version of Three Billboards.
Tell me this: how's Johnny Greenwood? How's the score in the Phantom Thread?
I mean, it's good. It's not nearly as memorable as the score for something like There Will Be Blood.
Well, I'll tell you this. For me, it's a battle between two. I can easily side with one of these two. I'm just gonna say, for me, I think it's between Hans Zimmer and Alexandre Desplat, and I think very simply it tips in Desplat's favor because Hans Zimmer, while again the ticking is great, we love the ticking, love how it's utilized in Dunkirk. Don't get me wrong, I really want to give Dunkirk as much awards as possible. However, in this case, Shape of Water. I mean, I'm very much, as the movie is a love story. I'm head over heels for that movie in many regards, and I tell you, I can go to the moments of score. I can recognize the Princess Without a Voice. I can go with that track anytime, and I can just, oh my god, it's there. It's got the feeling, it's got the heart in it. I can go like the song, and there's always a question of how much song choice do you factor into original score, which technically you shouldn't at all. But regardless, I'm just saying, You'll Never Know. I mean, it's the choice of that, but even without that, you still have a lot of memorable tracks in that. And Dunkirk, again, it's the ticking, but you got to find the ticking. You got to find what the heck is that called. I mean, trying to get to the beginning of the movie when the ticking.
Dragon, here's where I'm leaning towards. I feel like The Shape of Water will win. I feel like it deserves to win.
Yeah.
But I'm personally kind of rooting for Dunkirk just because I've talked your ear off about how much I like. It doesn't matter that Dunkirk isn't like an earworm at all. The point is it works incredibly well within the context of the actual movie.
And that's the thing. I wouldn't be upset if Dunkirk won. I'd be proud if Dunkirk won. I'm just saying, I feel more connected to Desplat with Shape of Water. That's where I'm coming down. So I'm perfectly Dunkirk winning would also be really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so production design, we have Beauty and the Beast, Blade Runner 2049, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Shape of Water.
Let's see. I'll tell you this. I know what I want to win. I really want Shape of Water to win because the production. That's one of the elements that I'm going to echo exactly what you said earlier, Tiki. That's one of the elements that it really assists the movie. It's one of those elements that really comes together because it's less costuming. It's more the design, the sets. Because again,
Dragon. Yeah, I agree with you. The production design in Shape of Water is wonderful.
Yep.
However, Blade Runner 2049 is unlike anything I've ever seen. That movie just absolutely transports you. And I definitely think, like what I was talking about earlier with, maybe not visual effects, but I definitely think this is going to be one of the minor categories that Blade Runner is going to come in and take. And I definitely think it deserves it. As good as The Shape of Water is, I mean, Blade Runner just it's breathtaking, the scope of Blade Runner and just how much watching that movie just transports you to another time and place.
Right, and TK, I completely get that. And I think it's a neck and neck race between Blade Runner and Shape of Water. It really
and that's
is.
Not to knock the other three either. I mean, even Beauty and the Beast, which is definitely the weakest of the three of all the nominees, even that's got really good production design. So
and Dunkirk as well. Dunkirk also has is good.
Dunkirk has freaking fantastic production design.
It does. Again, folks, what's coming down to, and the reason I think it's neck and neck, because before I saw Shape of Water, I assumed Blade Runner was a lock for it, to be quite honest.
Okay, I feel like Dunkirk and I feel like Beauty and the Beast is just a little bit too commercial to win. That's kind of the problem with that.
Beauty and the Beast has to combat, we've done it before and better in animation. Right. That's what it has to combat a lot. And it's okay, we just took something that's already been established and put it in the live action. So
whereas Darkest Hour and Dunkirk, first of all, they literally take place in the same time period covering the same event. And it's real world stuff, as good as it is. It's real world stuff.
And again, Dunkirk feels more of
Blade Runner 2049. They're both transformative movies.
Yeah, they are. And again, it's a question of a Blade Runner. I feel is more encompassing. It covers more ground. However, Shape of Water, it's kind of a tighter story. That again, it just feels like a bottled in experience that is plus by a real period setting and it knows exactly what it's doing. And Blade Runner is painting a picture on a canvas.
Period details that you just brought up might bring Shape of Water over the edge. I wouldn't really be surprised.
As I'm saying, it's neck and neck between it could be anyone's award for that one. I could absolutely see it going either way. They're both very even in their quality and design. So again, production design is going to be a tight one.
All right, so let's just literally talk about these.
I found out how to simply explain it,
categories,
by the way.
like, because I mean, it's the same nominees.
Well, real quick, so I just like to explain to the folks out there because it's always something that we have to go through here. So mixing and editing, the simple way of describing, they kind of switch them around, folks. So here, mixing is the guy at the mixing board who puts it into the movie. Editing is recording the sound.
Okay, so
That's how
okay,
you remember it. So editing is the sounds themselves, and editing editing is getting the sounds itself, and mixing is putting it into the movie, like how it's utilized in the film. You got it?
gotcha. And on both of these, we have Baby Driver, Dunkirk, Blade Runner 2049, Shape of Water, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. And honestly, Dragon, in both of these categories, I think it's a two-horse race between Blade Runner and Dunkirk, with probably the edge
Well,
going
yeah.
to Dunkirk.
Let's see. So for mix, for mix. So for mix, I feel I think Baby Driver should get it for mix. I think it's between who will in terms of who will get it. I think it's between Dunkirk or Shape. Because again, sound is important in both of those, and again, like how it's utilized. Because again, you have a mute character in term with Shape, and of course, like the danger of having no sound in certain places, like the echo, like the bullet scene from Dunkirk. When they're all huddled in the ship and the Nazi target practice. That scene is very much is very mix centric. So again, I think it could be anyone's between Dunkirk and Shape. It could be anyone's for mix. Editing, quite simply, I think it's. I think Dunkirk should get it for editing.
Yeah, and like I said, don't discount Blade Runner in any of these technical categories either.
Sure, that's just for me not seeing it, folks. Again, I decided,
Uh-huh.
I'm sure it's
Okay,
sure
film
good
editing. This is going to be an interesting one. We have Baby Driver, we have Dunkirk, we have I, Tonya, we have The Shape of Water, we have Three Billboards.
Now, folks, as much as I love Shape of Water, I think it's pretty clear cut. Would you agree, Tiki?
Um, I would actually say, I would say Dunkirk should win and will win, but
Yeah.
with a very significant, like, special shout out to Baby Driver.
Tiki, I agree with you full-heartedly that I think it's a lock for Dunkirk. But yeah, Baby Driver would be my runner-up if I ever have
Absolutely,
to, if I were
absolutely.
to pick anyone else. I'm just saying Dunkirk, and again, this is the thing I want to exemplify a lot of these nominations.
Dunkirk revolutionized movie editing. It's why it's my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. Dunkirk absolutely deconstructed how we watch movies.
And that's what I'm saying to you. That for that reason, I think Dunkirk deserves a lot of these awards this year because it did so many big things for Again, it was an experimental film in the best of ways, and I think we need to honor that. And I think honestly, of all the categories that really Dunkirk has to shine in, editing at the very least that's the one it absolutely really it deserves and should get very logically. Dunkirk editing, it's a no brainer. I mean, come on.
All right.
Let's see.
Okay, so best foreign language film.
Yeah, we don't care.
What one has the most interesting title?
Sure. Okay, let's see. The first time I'm actually giving these time of day, folks. I'm just.
The insult. I would say the insult sounds the most interesting.
Well, read through them. Let's see what sounds best.
A Fantastic Woman, The Insult, Loveless, On Body and Soul, and The Square.
Well, I assume the first film was not about Vera Farmiga, so I'm going to go with The Insult.
Yeah, The Insult. It sounds like it sounds like kind of. I mean, it could be like a deadly serious movie. It sounds like it could be fun. Anyways,
sorry to the foreign
best live action
fan.
short film.
Real quick, sorry to the foreign language film fans. We're just not into it. I'm sorry.
It's not that I'm not into it. It's just I'm very selective. Like trust me. If obviously, I think you and I can both agree. If Guillermo del Toro made a Spanish language film, we'd be there in a fucking heartbeat.
Well, Tiki, he has done that before, right?
Well, yeah, dude, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, if another Pan's Labyrinth were to take place, we'd absolutely be there.
Right. And I've also, I will say this much: I've seen a foreign language film. At the very least, it's like 90% of it's a foreign language film. I don't know if it technically counts or not, but it's about Steven Spielberg. It's it's about essentially a foreigner is going to he's on a quest to meet Steven Spielberg. It's called How I Met Steven Spielberg. And the whole movie, he doesn't speak a lick of English really, so it's subtitles throughout the whole film.
Okay, so live action short, documentary short, Dragon title that seems the most interesting to you.
Um, okay,
Live
DeKalb
action, I'm going to go with the
Elementary,
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. My nephew Emmett, that's kind of funny. The Silent Child, Watu Wote, all of us. I'm gonna go with. I gotta tell you, I like the 11 o'clock, but I'm gonna go with. I'll go with the Silent Child because it sounds cryptic.
Okay, okay. And then for best documentary, I have to go with Heaven is a Traffic Jam on the 405. That's a very catchy title.
Yeah, for me, Traffic. I did see I watched it back when they had the trailers on the actual Oscar website. I did watch through the documentary short and the documentary trailers, and out of these, Traffic Stop seems the most interesting to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's see, documentary feature,
Oh,
not Jim
here.
and Andy.
Yeah. So big rant for for documentary
And
features. So
this is the year that Netflix did kind of get into the Oscars with Mudbound being kind of the big ambassador for Netflix. So it's
yeah,
not unheard of to nominate something from Netflix.
yeah. So folks, let me put it to you this way: I've kind of at least until the Oscars happen, I've boycotted the documentaries because I'm mad at them because all of these documentaries seemingly stink. At the very least, it's a weak year for documentaries. I'm not fine. I won't say they stink, but I'm just saying that none of them really look appetizing. And again, having seen Jim and Andy, which again was so good and and everyone loved it. It's like 100% on again consistently. It's still remained at
Like
100%.
people who never make videos about documentaries were making videos about that.
Yes, I mean it went over tremendously, and again, it went over like a movie that's kind of an obscure Jim Carrey movie.
Uh-huh.
For the most part, again, to the average Joe, it's kind of an obscure Jim Carrey movie, and again, Jim and Andy, it's
Of course, it's very meta, and Hollywood loves movies about itself.
you have one of the most meta, probably the most meta documentary you'll ever see. It was a grand time. Again, it's so again with Tiki and I we did a commentary and I was just we can't give it more glowing reviews. I'm just saying out of any of these, Jim and Andy would easily beat it. I don't understand why Jim and Andy was not nominated. I really don't. It's some sort of. I think it's because the Oscars. My little mini conspiracy, I guess, would be that the Oscars they famously they were supposed to everyone said it was a big snub they did nominate Jim Carrey for the Man on the Moon performance, which Jim and Andy is based upon. They didn't nominate him, so it might be like an Oscar, like, oh man, we don't be reminded of our foolishness. We can't give him the Oscar when we didn't actually give him the Oscar. We can't do that. We're gonna look like idiots, man. Just don't put them on.
But regardless, Dragon, I absolutely agree with you. This is a year where I really could care less about any of these documentaries, honestly.
I mean, the only one, it's honestly mostly because of the name and the fact that it's available on Netflix. That, again, after this boycott, I'll probably check it out out of curiosity because I love, there was another, I'm not a sports guy, but I do love sports conspiracy documentaries where there was the Armstrong Lie I really liked when I
Oh, the
saw it.
Armstrong Lie was good.
And
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So out of these, Icarus is essentially it's in the vein of the Armstrong Lie. So that one I'm tempted to watch, but again, it didn't really sound like anything super special. At least in the trailer, it seemed more like more doping type, like more drug use in sports. It just I don't know. Again, it doesn't sound like it would surpass the Armstrong Lie, but regardless, again, Jim and Andy, big snub and just embarrassing snub for the Oscars documentaries here. And again, last year went tremendously well with OJ Made in America. And I can't say enough nice things about that. I rewatched it again this month, so it's okay.
Okay, Dragon, get into the next category. We have cinematography, Blade Runner 2049, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Mudbound, which, just as a note, folks, is another thing I haven't seen. Kyle Decker's been giving glowing words about it on Facebook, though, Dragon.
About which one?
Mudbound. Decker's been
Really?
glowing about that one.
You don't happen to know what Mudbound's about, do you?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
And then, of course, The Shape of Water. Dragon, just say, I mean, just to get it over with for me, like Deakins, it's a long time coming for him. This is a legacy award, but unlike something like DiCaprio or even Martin Scorsese for the Departed, this is Roger Deakins at the absolute height of his powers. This is prime Roger Deakins, and there's no better movie to give Roger Deakins his first Academy Award win to
Do
than
you
Blade Runner 2049. I mean, it's
do you
just
know
all
if
in the
he did?
cards. Just do it.
Do you know if he did the original Blade Runner?
I'm pretty sure he did. I'd have to go back. I mean, he's had a long and storied career.
It would be a good legacy award. Like, hey, I did Blade Runner way back in the day, and I did the
I
sequel.
can't. Don't quote me on that, Dragon. I'm not 100% sure on that.
This is again we one. I think we are well represented in the cinema in all the nominations here. I will say this: it's a tough one because I think it's really between three of them here. Because again, Blade Runner, as again, I'm just looking at Blade Runner again. I haven't really gotten into it. I still got to watch.
I mean, the cinematography in that thing is just it's out of this world.
And again, before seeing Shape of Water, I would bet on well, bear in mind I'd seen Dunkirk, so Dunkirk I think is the other competitor. So it would before seeing
Shape. If it weren't for the Roger Deakins factor, it would be a 2-horse race between Dunkirk and Shape of Water.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, I mean, again, Dunkirk, of course, it's one of the elements along with the editing. But again, if I had to pick between the editing and cinematography, I'm going to give it editing for Dunkirk. But again, regardless, Dunkirk also looks it looks really good. But I mean, after seeing it against Shape of Water, I mean that movie. There are certain shots in that movie that are just masterpieces. Again,
no, I hear you absolutely.
As like one of the memorable kind of images in the movie, we have like the God, I'm sorry, folks. I've only seen it once. I'm mesmerized, but I just gotta get some. No, I know that. I'm speaking of.
I mean, I'm just saying that really stuck out to me cinematography wise.
Well, yeah, I'm building that. I'm saying the artist. He is his the Richard Jenkins character in Shape of Water. He's an artist, and he has this image of the embrace between the creature and in Eliza, and basically we kind of see that brought to life in the embrace in a flooded room, which is kind of the poster image of the film, and it's a thing of beauty. And just again, we showed the cinematography. It's so wonderfully comedic. You have so many beautiful shots, and that's where like everything kind of pops perfectly. The production, everything comes together in the cinematography for Shape of Water. So for me, my vote is from I'm hoping and betting on Shape of Water based on the power of those images.
All right. Okay, yes. Best original screenplay. And Dragon, 4 out of the 5 of these were written by the director, so I just want to give some credit where credit's due there.
That is
wasn't written by the director in this case.
Yeah, that is wonderful. Yes.
Okay, so our original screenplay, The Big Sick, which you just got a chance to saw. I saw back when it came out in theaters. Both of us really like it. Yeah. Get Out, Lady Bird, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
So I've seen, I have not seen 2 of these. I haven't seen, but again, I've seen the trailer for them today. So I saw Lady Bird. I finally saw like aside from just the clips they've used in the award shows before Lady Bird, I finally got to see the trailer end for 3 Billboards. I got like I got like a tepid like.
I would definitely say Lady Bird and 3 Billboards are the weakest out of these 5, anyways. So,
right. Let's see. So I guess for why don't you start us off? How you feeling?
Okay. First of all, I'm just going to address your pick, which is probably going to be Shape of Water. Dragon, I honestly think the screenplay isn't one of the best elements of the movie, and I almost sort of feel like there's a little bit of a disjointed quality in The Shape of Water that I need to kind of see a second time to maybe iron out, where there's a little bit of a tonal mismatch with The Shape of Water. It's a beautiful movie. I just feel like there's kind of some odds and ends here that don't quite gel together. So with that in mind, I'm of 2 minds with this. Get Out is obviously, I think, probably the front runner in this category. Because Get Out, of course, being the very political, very, up in everyone's face about, about the cultural issues at the time. However, Dragon, as a sentimental favorite, I really think The Big Sick deserves this.
I may say this again. I'm kind of rethinking my position a little on this. Not just because of what you said. I'm just saying because I saw The Big Sick today. It's kind of thrown my perspective. So, I'll tell you what. So, I mean, again, just looking at an original screenplay, it's it's very interesting. So, Shape of Water, of course, is Guillermo del Toro's baby. It's very much a passion project, and again, I think in another category, we're really going to reflect that a little bit more. But again, I can't take the writing away from that. What factors into that passion project? However, similar things can be said about the other 2 we've spoken of. Again, Get Out very much is Jordan Peele. It's a star-making year for him, and again, Get Out. I've seen that in these. I really love the direction he gives that, but also again, I could definitely see the writing kind of laying pipe for that, and again, all being all being Jordan Peele. However, The Big Sick, again, similar to Del Toro, more so. We have essentially it's Kumail's Kamal, sorry, Kamal's his essentially it's a biopic about it. It's very much inspired by his own life. It's a very personal story for him, and kind of seeing that. I'm rethinking it. I'm going to say I
Just
think
the
it
way
might.
that The Big Sick reinvents romantic comedies, and it's not a dramedy, it's not a straight up comedy, it's just an incredibly moving, fun movie. And I feel like in a year where it's all about kind of like, like big deconstructionist films like Dunkirk, or like major political statements like Get Out or Three Billboards, I really think we need a movie like The Big Sick to be spotlighted somehow.
So I'm going to say that. So I think in my heart of hearts, I'm rooting for Shape of Water, but what I think will and probably should actually get it. The Big Sick has my like my actual vote, my heart
I
of
think
hearts. Like,
Get Out's gonna win. I mean, that's kind of where I think Big Sick should win. I think Get Out will win.
all right. So again, the points I like all three of those, and honestly, it's like any of them, Robin, you can't miss. It's like one of those things, It's just,
Yeah, except maybe Three Billboards, if I'm being blatantly
I
obvious.
mean, any one of the three, Teague. Any one of the
Oh
three.
yeah, any one of the three. Right, right.
Any one of the three. Teague, I'm going to agree with your prediction. I think Get Out it's very. Get Out seems to be a lock, as he in that. But then again, I've argued before. Get Out's buzz has kind of died off as the year went on, though.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we'll see how it goes. Again, after seeing Big Sick, though, again, very impressive writing and story based around it. So, okay,
Adapted screenplay. We have Call Me by Your Name, The Disaster Artist, Logan, Molly's Game, and Mudbound. Molly's Game is something that I really wanted to see, but just never got around to it, unfortunately. It's a Sorkin screenplay, so I imagine it's very good. Dragon, I think you and I both agree we'd freaking love to see Logan win.
Yeah, so Logan in my heart should win. Logan should win. I like to root for the disaster artists. I don't, not just for like the stuff nowadays, the stuff that's been coming to light of late, but I'm just saying it doesn't seem to be like a straight.
I mean, I don't know how to. The guy who wrote that book in like a little over a week.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, looking at disasters again, it's like I still have to. I finally got my hands on the book, so it's going to be a while before I can kind of pound through the pages. But let's just say I'm hearing, like, again, it's a question of how you measure up adaptation from how much they take from the book and bring to life. It's like just because something changes in the adaptation doesn't mean it's inferior. It doesn't mean it's less than anything. But it's again, it's based on something that exists. So again, I want to acknowledge Disaster Artist because I think it did a successful job at again, better not having read the book yet. I'm just saying, I can see a source material well represented at the very least. Again, adapting a story in real life and just kind of adapting the feel of that book. I can see that, but again, I can't speak with autonomy on that. But regardless, Logan should win. Again, Logan is very underrepresented this year at the Academy Awards.
As for what will win, I think Call Me by Your Name will win, and honestly, I'm not going to be upset at all.
Yeah, I know. I know you're not going to be upset, but yeah, because you basically the way I think though, honestly, my big analogy, I think the way you feel about Call Me by Your Name is the way I feel about Shape of Water. I think that's my main analogy for all of this.
I'm pretty sure you're kind of on the money with that. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Shape of Water just didn't emotionally impact me the way it did you. Like, I think Shape of Water is a very neat, very tight, well put together movie. I just need to give it a rewatch to really get the emotional impact of it.
I can't wait to get it on DVD. I mean, it's gonna be my big Easter gift. I can't wait for that.
Whereas basically the last third of Call Me by Your Name just wrecked me. Just fucking wrecked me.
Well, again, folks, Logan, again, just to give Logan something, but also again, I mean, it was very well written and did a lot of things well, let's say. So it's Logan. I wish would get it, but let's face it, Call Me by Your Name's gonna get it.
Animated short. Dragon, we're not cultured enough to know what any of these are besides Lou.
So yeah, let's just.
I wish let's just be vaguely familiar with Dear Basketball. That's the only one I've heard of besides Lou.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this mainly because of Glenn Keane's involvement, but I'm gonna say this: I respect Dear Basketball just having some like a little teaser trailer for it.
I would say either Lou or Dear Basketball winning would be. I'd be fine with either of them, honestly.
I mean, come on, though. I mean, Lou has to win this.
Look, Lou's very, very good. I'm just saying, Dear Basketball it's got the cultural thing going on. It's got it's got kind of a veteran animator working on it. Like, I'm not going to be unhappy that it wins.
I'm saying Lou is a representation of Pixar finally amazingly getting to a point where they did a short that surpassed the quality of the movie attached to it.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, that it was the third Cars movie that no one was asking for.
Well, you were the staunch defender of Cars 3 as well, so you know.
Yep. Anyways. All right, so
well, the point is just Lou is
Show Dragon.
In a minute, just again, so Lou is just fantastic film. But I'm gonna be very surprised if Lou doesn't get it. Okay, yes, let's get to it.
Okay, folks, with this, it's not about. We all know Coco's gonna win, and it should win. That's obvious.
It's pretty singular.
It's the nominees, Dragon. This is the headliner once again. This category continues to draw controversy.
Yep. So should we? So I guess we should address the big snub.
Lovey Vincent and the Breadwinner. I'm just going to give a free pass to because I haven't seen them. I've actually heard fantastic things about the Breadwinner and Dragon. If something does upset Coco, it's going to be the Breadwinner. Just warning you.
Oh, but
yeah, Boss Baby. I haven't seen Ferdinand just because it looks so mediocre. It was just like. Eventually it's going to come on Netflix like Smurfs The Lost Village or Trolls did, and I'll probably just watch it that way. But Boss Baby,
I've seen Boss Baby. I will say it does not deserve to be in
the Suicide Squad of this year, Dragon. It's not quite as bad, but this is I can't believe that got nominated for an Academy Award.
Well, again, let's not say it's the Suicide Squad because again, that means it would get it. Tiki. Let's not.
Can you imagine if Boss Baby won over?
I would be in a fetal position crying. I would just be. It would wreck me.
Of course, I think the big thing that everyone's wondering is where the hell is Lego Batman?
See, here's the thing. Let me explain something here. Okay, so. There are two movies on this list again, Ferdinand and Boss Baby. And again, Boss Baby, not a bad movie, but let's address it. One, if we're gonna have a DreamWorks movie, how do you put Boss Baby there instead of Captain Underpants?
Instead of Captain Underpants, right.
I think a part of me wonders if it's the Oscars looking at the least embarrassing title for their lineup, Boss Baby.
Captain I really think that's it, Dragon. Even though Boss Baby as a movie is far more embarrassing.
I think they just didn't want to have Underpants worked into their title. I think that's really I think that's why Boss Baby's there. It's got to be. But, importantly, so again, whether it's for Boss Baby or most likely for Ferdinand, regardless, there's a category here that one of these things is not like the other because Lego Batman absolutely should be nominated out of all of these.
And look, Lego Batman shouldn't. It wouldn't have won. It shouldn't have won.
Sure. It deserves the point is it deserves to be nominated though.
Mm-hmm.
It deserves the honor. It deserves a seat at the table.
Point, with the situation with the Lego movie, it's a fuck you. I really think that, Dragon. From the bottom of my heart, I think that.
I don't think you're off. I don't think you're off about that at all. I think you're absolutely right. Again, folks, is the Oscar politics we have to kind of show the seeds of here and there every year. So it's that again, they're trying to be consistent in their rulings. They don't want to show any weakness. There's one example this year of them trying to kind of getting past their bluster a little bit. But again, it's only by so much, and we'll get to that later with the director nominations. But it's but I mean, here though, it's again we have to show a strong force. We're not going to nominate Jim and Andy. In this case, we're not. We're very anti-Lego. We're very anti-Lego. It's basically them we don't care. We don't like Legos. Just it might be like Legos. It's very much it's a kiddie thing, despite the fact that Toy Story's been nominated and won various times.
Mm-hmm.
Despite that. Regardless, the point is Coco is a lock. Very simple. I mean, Coco, come on.
And like I said, don't be I know you're going to be shocked, but I'm not going to be shocked if Breadwinner wins. I'm going to be upset, but I won't be shocked.
Do you know what Breadwinner's about?
What?
Do you have anything on Breadwinner to at least explain
I
this
know it's
phenomenon?
like a very sad movie about like a single mother who's like trying to raise a family, and it's like very depressing.
Opposed to a film with one fantastic song that's nominated for an Oscar, "Remember Me," some fantastic plot twist, some wondrous animation, otherworldly animation with the marigold bridges, and you're telling me a sad, down-to-earth animated film is going to get it over this wondrous experience filled with heart, a little bit of sadness.
I'm saying it's a possibility.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
All right, but yes, go.
Okay, so best director we have Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan, Get Out, Jordan Peele, Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig, Phantom Thread, Paul Thomas Anderson, Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro. I would like to thank the Academy for not nominating 3 billboards in this category.
So let's yeah, man, we do have a couple snubs here. Main snub, and then people campaign for, and I feel like it would have been nice to kind of get her in there. Patty Jenkins.
To me, Dragon, I honestly don't consider it a snub just because all 5 of these people are just top of their class.
I'll give you that, but Matt Reeves for me personally, I'm looking at, yeah, I guess you're right. It's not really major snubs, but I mean, Matt Reeves, he did a really good job, though. I mean, it would have been nice.
I mean, that's the thing, Dragon. When we get to supporting actor, there's going to be a snub, all right?
Yeah,
because there's
yeah,
going to be someone on supporting actor who absolutely should not be there.
You
But
mean
with director, I feel like every single one of these people, like in spite of some of the movies not being as great, like Lady Bird's good, but I don't think the directing is out of this world or anything. I would have actually really loved to see Denis Villeneuve get in it for Blade Runner. I think that, well, not a snub. I think that would have been a well-deserved nomination. Or even Lee Unkrich for Coco. How good would that have been?
I mean, I love that, but I mean, here's the thing. It's a real, we do with the directors we do have. So again, maybe it's less of a snub than I was factoring some other good directors, but you're right. It's basically it's a cutoff in terms of they can only have so many nominated.
5 is Gerwig, and then Paul Thomas Anderson probably made the weakest movie out of the 5, but it's still big names.
Right. So again, for me, it's between 3. Well, I mean, I think it's pretty safe. I have a safe bet about who's going to get it and who I would also like to get. But still, I want to address the three contenders here. We have 3 good. I think we have 3 genuine contenders here.
I would guess Christopher Nolan, Jordan Peele, Guillermo del Toro.
And folks, look, I'm not just saying that because I've seen these movies. I'm saying it for.
No, trust me. They're all 3 of them are better than Lady Bird and Phantom Thread. Dragon, take my word on it.
What I'm saying is, I can see very valid reasons why these 3 guys would deserve it. And that Jordan Peele did a really outstanding. I really love the direction in Get Out, and again, I think it's his first time as director too. I think, but the point is, again, I think he did a really good job, and that was very much like a production. It was like a one-man production in the core concept. Again, Nolan is basically the Oscars kind of trying to absolve themselves of sin. Like the Oscars kind of progressing a little, and like, hey, we keep nominating Nolan's movies, we never nominate him as director, and it's almost like it could be a very convoluted screw you to Nolan. That hey, we're gonna nominate him, but we're gonna put him up against someone who he's probably not gonna have a chance against.
Right.
That honestly is kind of what I think they're doing there. But I mean, I'd like the positive, like in the glass half, glass half full. It's like, hey,
loves Guillermo.
That's the thing. I mean, Guillermo, the awards this year are loving Guillermo, but again, after seeing,
like, this is also kind of a repeat of Pan's Labyrinth too, where he got very close to getting Best Director for that.
Sure. So the point is, I think it really should be between Del Toro and Nolan, but with Del Toro, honestly, is when Del Toro was getting all the awards in the other shows, I was just before seeing the movie, I was like, Del Toro's such a nice guy. I like that he's getting awards. Good for him. But learning how personal this movie was for him. Again, seeing how it is very much it's Del Toro's. Again, at least to this day, it seems to be his masterpiece, and I think he's acknowledged it. It's like
I definitely think that Pan's Labyrinth is his masterpiece. But
okay, I'm just
over that.
I'm just saying that he's been saying that I can absolutely see his point there. He's viewing it as his masterpieces. The point is the personal. It's a passion project. It feels very deserved. I think everyone's kind of in Guillermo's corner as well as.
Having said that, I think the political move is going to be to give it to Jordan Peele, and honestly, I'm not going to be upset or call it a political move at all if Jordan Peele does get it, because it's a freaking knock it out of the park debut.
Yeah. I'll get it. I'll understand it absolutely if Peele gets it for the reasons. I don't think the world will. I think they're going to say, yeah, why didn't you give it to Del Toro? He's getting all the awards. I like that Del Toro fellow. But yeah, I think again, I'd love to be surprised in Nolan to get. I'll say that much. I'd love the surprise.
So basically, here's what it comes down to. I think the situation is if Nolan gets it, it's going to be for kind of like the legacy snub factor. Yeah. Del Toro is kind of like the safe sort of like veteran that they've already that they already love.
Yeah.
And then Jordan Peele is going to kind of be the up and comer that they want to shine the light on.
And importantly, they've all earned it. They've all done good strides in film this year. I want to say that. And again, Nolan, he did the experimental film that is kind of, again, basically director and the editing category, I think, are the best reflections of Dunkirk. If I had to pick, a couple of categories that really represent what Dunkirk has done this year. Get Out, again, is a debut film. And again, Del Toro, again, I think he really committed like something really personal and put it on screen. It's a good representation of what film can do. So again, I think we're all... They've all earned it, and I just think my money's on Del Toro with hope that maybe Nolan will surprise us. Okay, supporting actress, Dragon. This is one that's kind of hard for me because I haven't seen Mudbound. I haven't seen I, Tonya. I, Tonya is another one I really wanted to see. Here's a snub. Now, again, I will say this much: this snub could be an act. You tell me what you think of this, Steve. I mean, I think it would be in supporting actors. It might be an act. It might be an actress. I'm pretty sure it's supporting actors though. Daphne Keane from Logan. I think she was snubbed. I think she should have been nominated. That would be for supporting.
I wouldn't consider her snubbed just because I don't feel like she would have a good chance to win.
Well, regardless, would she be in supporting or would she be an actress?
I would say she'd be in supporting.
Okay, well, at least I got that.
But Dragon, you have to keep in mind the true definition of a snub isn't just someone who, you really think should have gotten on there. It's someone who you think would have had a really good shot to beat at least a significant portion of the nominees.
Oh. Huh.
That's what a snub, like in the truest sense of the word, really would be.
I guess you're right in the truest sense, yeah. So I guess, yeah, all right, okay, I'll give you that. I don't know. Let me look at some of these. Yeah, they all the support. Yeah, it is a strong crowd for supporting. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it doesn't fit. Like, never mind. So I guess we're just gonna.
So here's the thing. I honestly think Mudbound's gonna win just based on what I've been hearing about it. And if that doesn't win, I think I, Tonya is gonna win based on what I've been hearing about it. And I have no stake in either of them.
Yeah. I'll say this much. Just I like Octavia Spencer, and also the strong characters. I mean, Laurie Metcalf. She's a great actress in the clips I've seen of Lady Bird, and
she's great. My personal choice out of the three that I've seen would probably be Leslie Manville. Not a great movie, but a really captivating character. Like, she goes through a crazy arc in that movie.
But my smart money, I think smart money's on Allison Janney winning, though. That's what I'm betting.
I would say smart money's on Allison Janney or Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, but also, I like Allison Janney, so good for her. Yeah, let's give her an award. Yeah, she's, yeah.
And I, Tonya is definitely a movie that I want to see eventually. It seems like kind of like a weird sort of like. Have you heard much about I, Tonya, Dragon?
Well, it's Allison Janney, Margot Robbie.
It's kind of like an off-kilter biopic.
I do like me some good biopics.
Yeah.
I'm definitely I'm interested. Eventually.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, again, like whenever these hit on demand or Netflix, I believe or Amazon, I'm very down for seeing a lot of the Oscar films. Unfortunately, I always hate waiting for the Oscar films, and now I've learned that the trick is for a lot of these, they're going to release them in theaters before the Oscars come out. Like, again, they always do the limited release thing, or it's just can't see every movie. So regardless, I'm intrigued by a lot of these films in the Best Picture categories. But
okay, so Dragon, supporting actor, this is the category they botched the most. There's two people who should very clearly be on this category, and two people who should very clearly, in my opinion, not be on this category. All right,
I'm really worried about who the second person might be. But okay, who do you got?
Okay, so we have Willem Dafoe for The Florida Project. We have Woody Harrelson for 3 Billboards.
Yeah.
Richard Jenkins for Shape of Water. Don't worry, he's safe.
Good. Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
Don't worry. Just want to get that out of the way.
Okay. keep going, keep going.
Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World, and Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards.
All right, so what? Hey,
Dragon, I think you need to take away one of the 2-3 Billboards people, and I really think Woody Harrelson would be the one to do that with. He was good. It's just nothing that it's just not mind-blowing work from Woody Harrelson by any means.
You know what I wish they would do? I just wish they would nominate. It's so petty. It's so small. It's so fun. It's like, hey, Woody Harrelson. We got snubbed Woody Harrelson for himself, but not for 3 Billboards Outside of Missouri. No, we should have Woody Harrelson. I'm just saying it'd be funny if Woody Harrelson went up against himself in another movie, but no, for seriousness, Woody Harrelson I think should not be nominated for that, but be nominated for War for the Planet of the Apes because he was fantastic in that movie.
I mean, I think if anyone should be nominated for War, it should be
yeah, but I'm saying for looking at the supporting actor.
Yeah.
Right? But you're right about. I mean, absolutely right about that. I'm just saying for supporting Woody Harrelson. I'm saying if he's there already, so just give him a different movie.
Okay, so here's the deal. Christopher Plummer shouldn't be on here.
Yeah, Plummer, he's complicated. Let's say.
Yeah, I take him out. Okay, Dragon, obviously you and we can both agree that I really do feel like if Patrick Stewart would have made it on, this isn't a case where Daphne Keane, where it would have been good to see her, but I don't think she would have had a real chance to win. I think Patrick Stewart has a real chance to win because he's a legacy actor. People love Patrick Stewart, and it's pretty damn clear from everyone who's seen Logan, it is his best performance he's ever done. So I think if you give Patrick Stewart the shot, I think he could get the votes to win.
He should definitely supplant Christopher Plummer in this category. However, again, I just want to say for the record, folks, we have nothing personally against Christopher Plummer. Loved him. Loved him enough.
It's just a situation. It's a weird situation, and it really, I find it hard to believe that someone who came in that late would be worthy of an Academy Award.
Yeah, and also I heard, again, I could be wrong about this. I think he might have had they majorly might have expanded his role, but I think he might have been involved. The point is, it's complicated. He's complicated. Yeah. It's kind of like a last minute. He's like we kind of upped his importance in the movie to a substantial degree, very last minute. So,
and then Dragon, honestly, even more so than Patrick Stewart, Armie Hammer should be in this category, and I'm very upset at the Academy Awards for snubbing him. This is the biggest snub of the year for me, I think. Armie Hammer just absolutely, he broke my heart in Call Me by Your Name. Just that's the best way. He absolutely freaking broke my heart. I felt so much empathy for Armie Hammer. The brilliant thing about Armie Hammer's performance in Call Me by Your Name is that when the movie first starts, he's sort of like the suave guy who looks like he's got it all going on and looks like he has all the confidence. But as the movie peels back and as the movie keeps going, you see the insecurities of Armie Hammer, and you see the reasons for him to be hiding his lifestyle. And it's a captivating performance. There's no honestly, I would nominate Armie Hammer over any of these fools any day of the week. Even Richard Jenkins. I love Richard Jenkins, but honestly. Anyways, Dragon, I find the actual nominees very underwhelming. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that Richard Jenkins is there. I'm happy that Willem Dafoe's there. Florida Project, definitely another movie I want to check out. In terms of will win, should win, I think Sam Rockwell's probably got this in the bag. I think the only thing that's going to complicate this is Woody Harrelson also being nominated for 3 Billboards. There might potentially be a vote split. But I think this is Rockwell's year. It's not the best movie, but Rockwell does have a good arc in that movie. And it's not the most fun Sam Rockwell performance, but it is one of the most layered Sam Rockwell performances. So I think he will deserve it. Having said that, Dragon, I'm as much as I hate not seeing Patrick Stewart and Armie Hammer on there, I'm crossing my fingers hardcore for Willem Dafoe.
Let me say this. So one is I like the sampling of actors we have on this lineup. By the way, it's unrelated. No, I'm saying it's a good list of actors. That's a strong supporting actor list right there. I mean, again, I know the snubs withstanding. I'm just saying, just seeing them unrelated. It's factoring it all in there. It's it's a good list of actors there. But aside from that, it's so funny, T, because I remember I put Richard Jenkins in that Pixar pitch. He was Ed Hansen.
Yeah,
He was kind of the bad. He was kind of the proto bad guy.
I feel like Richard Jenkins is the type of guy that you can just like sort of pencil into so many different roles and have him just fit.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw Richard Jenkins was in a Jim Carrey movie. It was in Fun with Dick and Jane. He had a really good. Have you ever? How long has it been since you rewatched? You ever seen Dick and Jane? Or have you
I've never seen Dick and Jane.
He has a really Richard Jenkins has a fun role in that movie. I think you'd like it. So the point is, Jenkins, again, F. Shape Water again. He was a really good. I'm saying in terms of what defines a supporting character, he was really good as a supporting character to our main. He was very interesting. He had a storyline that kind of complemented thematically what we were doing. He was a lot of fun. He wasn't just thrown in there. So I mean, compared to like with supporting actors, Octavia Spencer, she was in there. She was like, yeah, that's Octavia Spencer doing her thing. But Richard Jenkins felt like a really important. He felt like an important thing of what made that help.
No, you're right. Like the Octavia Spencer role was like, it was a good role. It was like it almost felt like she was playing the same character from oh god, the
Hidden Figures.
Yeah, Hidden Figures. Thank you.
Right.
Like the supportive best friend in the office environment. But
she really likes doing that, and she did that in The Gifted too with Chris Evans.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's I would agree. I think it's a lock for Sam Rockwell. I would love it if Richard Jenkins won, but again, I see Defoe also. Again, just in general.
I mean, come on, it's Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. By the way, I'm really a note that again. I gotta tell you, I'm more and more every day is with Hammer comes up. I'm more and more sold on him as a Batman. I'd love to see if maybe we can get that on track again. Well, we're basically kind of like a help one for Batman sign kind of has been posted.
I mean, I will say that 3 Billboards, probably the best thing about 3 Billboards is that it has I think out of any movie in Sam Rockwell's career, this is the one where people have really like finally stood up and taken notice of this guy. Finally,
it's kind of funny. Harrelson gets all the press in that trailer. Rockwell's just kind of in there. He's like he's the angry guy in that one shot in the trailer. But no, it's
no, really. When you watch the movie, it's the other way around. Like Harrelson, a couple scenes, but Rockwell's like all over that movie.
See, that's smart editing right there. That's an example. Like Harrelson, I'm sure he's in there, but not as pivotal.
By the way, like I said, the fact that Harrelson, he has like maybe 2 or 3 major scenes in the movie. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. So I really don't think that's enough for him to get a nomination.
Harrelson is getting really around these days.
Just, it's nothing we haven't seen from Woody.
Yeah, and Harrelson is around a lot, though. I got to he's getting around. He's in a lot of movies these days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyway, but again, just the Jenkins would delight my heart if he won. But I think it's Rockwell's got it. He's got it. All right.
Okay. Lead actress. We got Sally Hawkins for Shape of Water, Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird, and the obligatory Meryl Streep nomination for being in a movie this year.
All right, now, okay, let me say this. Now, again, this probably would have been, it's occurring to me now, this probably, you got to help me. I'm always in the whole, what defines supporting versus the lead actress here, is that Zoe Kazan from The Big Sick, would you consider her
I would say she would be a lead.
Yeah.
Having said that, it's kind of the same situation with Daphne Keane, where it's like, I really... Like realistically,
I don't know.
I don't think she could have beaten any of the 5 women up here.
Yeah. Now
because this is a very strong list, Dragon. Like, and I will say, even Meryl Streep was good in The Post. All right, like I joke a lot about Meryl Streep just being nominated, just for obligatorily being nominated, but she was good.
Let's just give her a shout out regardless. She was good in The Big Sick. Whether, again, I guess now retroactively not a snub, but she was good though.
Dragon, honestly, I think the snubs in The Big Sick that people are more upset about are Ray Romano for supporting actor and Holly Hunter for supporting actress.
Ray Romano needs to do more movies. He really does.
And I think The Big Sick kind of proved that. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, you're right.
Okay, so Dragon, in terms of best lead actress, this is a 2-horse race between the person that we want to win and the person that's probably more likely to win, I think.
And honestly, this kind of embodies what I think kind of best pictures.
I know.
It's so funny. So again,
I think you and I can both agree. Look, actually, I think edging it out, like odds-wise, I think Sally Hawkins will and should win. However, I think there's great potential for a Frances McDormand upset. And I wouldn't even call it an upset because she was good in the movie. It's just if Frances McDormand wins, it's going to be political. That's all I'll say about it. It'll be because the movie was political, and we know that she's going to get up and give a big political speech. It's going to be all politics if McDormand wins.
And Tiki, I agree with you full-heartedly. I'm just saying I'm not expecting it as an upset. I'm expecting it as a certainty that she's going to win, even though I want Sally Hawkins to win.
I think the ball has been rolling. Shape of Water. I think Shape of Water's a front runner in a lot of these. And Dragon, don't think that people don't realize that Sally Hawkins is mute throughout that damn movie. You know what I mean? Like, that is a feat.
Yeah, I know. It's basically Del Toro. It's kind of the Del Toro version of the Del Toro monster version of Wall-E, essentially, is what Shape of Water is. It's kind of kind of a love story without dialogue in the best of ways there. But yeah, I mean, again, I'm hoping Sally Hawkins wins. I mean, she has a shot at it, but again, I guess again, McDormand, just based on the track record so far, she keeps winning actress. And,
I mean, I definitely, like I said, I definitely don't think that Margot Robbie, Saoirse Ronan, or Meryl Streep are realistic contenders.
And just make sure we're not kind of like piling on McDormand again. She's a credible actress. I get it if she wins. I mean, I get it.
Like it will be political. It'll be because the movie's political. It'll be because Frances McDormand as a personality is political.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I get on both. I get it that yes. I mean, once she comes from me, I get she's an actress. I could definitely see her winning on that one. But absolutely more so what you're saying to you. That's the main reason.
So frankly, Dragon, her performance in the movie isn't anything we haven't already seen in Fargo. If I'm being blunt.
That's fair. I can get that. That's what I'm saying. I can understand, but mostly, again, out of that balance, it's mostly coming from the politicizing of it. I'm saying on a fundamental level, it's like, okay, I kind of get why she would be.
A vote for Sally Hawkins is a vote for filmmaking.
Yes. I'm sorry. I was just kind of caught off guard by how perfect that sounded. Yes. Yes, that is a vote for filmmaking. My God, he phrased that so well. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
I dare to say it. I dare to say it. I'm vaguely proud.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So lead actor.
Okay. Lead actor. Lead actor. Of course, there is a big snub here, and this one's an easy one to swap out.
Yes, very easy.
Now, I'll say this: if we could have added a sixth, we absolutely could. Andy Serkis should have been on there as a sixth. I absolutely, if we could have afforded another one, Andy Serkis absolutely should have been nominated. But I think the big snub in this case that really could have, for my mind.
Well, hold on. Let me go through the nominees, and then we'll get to the obvious snub.
All right.
Okay, nominees are Timothée Chalamet for Call Me by Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out, Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour, and Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire.
Real quick, before we cast the darkness, I just want to kind of praise the light for a moment here. Daniel Kaluuya, I'm very excited to see in Black Panther. I don't know what his character is going to be, but I know he's going to be it, and I'm looking forward to it.
I was just excited to see Kaluuya get this nomination in general. Frankly, I don't really think he's even that memorable in terms of acting, but it just goes to show how much faith the Academy's putting in Get Out as a property.
He has the most haunting cry on film, that Daniel.
That is true. He does. Yeah, he does do the cry very well.
I don't know what they did, but his eyes look so scary in that movie when he's crying. They look kind of like dirty and I don't know what they did. I don't know if they did that post or whatnot. But his eyes are like, oh my God, it looks so haggard.
Okay, so I think you and I absolutely agree. Frickin' Hugh Jackman should have been on here instead of Denzel Washington.
And again, this one now,
this to me feels like a fuck you.
And again, Tegan, now this again, Snub, you've educated me on the specificity of Snub, and Hugh Jackman absolutely embodies what the Snub is. Am I correct?
Like Hugh Jackman absolutely would have had a. I don't want to say Hugh Jackman would have had a great chance going up against Gary Oldman, but he would have been in there.
I don't know. I legitimately think if he had a legitimate shot at it, I mean, if he were on it, if he had a shot at being on it.
Let me say this. I think if he were on the ballot, then he would basically replace Timothée Chalamet as the person who could beat Gary Oldman.
Give you that. Again, a part of me wonders if Gary Oldman's really, I haven't seen the movies. That's why I'm saying. That's why I don't know for certain, folks. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I'm kind of holding off on. Let's kind of talk through some of the other stuff, and then I'll get to my hot take on Gary Oldman. All right.
All right. Well, let's talk about the Washington of it all. So Denzel Washington, as Tiki was alluding to. So Washington is pretty much he's there because I watched it. I'll say this. Let me say this much. I saw the trailer for this day because again I watched like the compilation of all the trailers for the best. I watched the trailers, then I watched this was to make sure I got in to see what if there was any credibility to this. And for lead actor based on a trailer, there is not. However, the movie does pique my interest because it's done by the director and writer of Dan Gilroy, who did Nightcrawler.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So, and the trailer looks interesting. It has kind of a blaxploitation vibe to it. So I mean, I'm interested, but it doesn't. His performance it doesn't really seem spectacular. It seems like okay, so he's Denzel Washington. Okay, so he's just doing. Hey, that's why Denzel Washington's on the ticket here because it's the name cachet. And Tiki and I have joked before that it's basically they're it's like getting to the 11th hour, and it's like, is there any movie we're not thinking of right now? See, we fell asleep during the nominee process. We only have like 5 minutes left. Okay, just put a name down. Who's a good actor, Denzel Washington? Yeah, he's gotten before. Yeah, sure. Okay, put him down. Are you sure there's no Australian we're not thinking of? No, just put it down, you idiot. But okay. Yeah.
Hot take here. Gary Oldman shit Darkest Hour.
Really?
I really don't like his performance at all. It's very showy. It's very much just like, look how much makeup we can slather on his face. It's very exaggerated. You don't really get a feel for the actual guy. It's much more just look at Gary Oldman looking and sounding like Winston Churchill. It's such a show-off performance, Dragon. It's one of those performances where it's like, it's so clearly made to win Oscars that really the movie itself doesn't have any substance to it.
It basically feels like an Oscar bait performance versus a performance.
It's absolutely an Oscar bait performance. I mean, that's just by and large what it is.
What you're saying is it's Oscar bait before it's a performance that deserves an Oscar. Now, again,
absolutely. That I 100% believe that. Look, I love Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman's well past due for an Oscar.
Yeah.
I just think if it's this movie, then it's going to be freaking Leo DiCaprio all over again. And it's just going to be like, you're like, well, did he really deserve to win for that stupid bear movie,
Exactly. Yeah, we got to make that clear with DiCaprio and with Oldman. Again, these guys deserve Oscars, not necessarily for the movies they're up for.
Dragon Darkest Hour is shit. Like, it's a very generic, like, it was my Lincoln. Where I found next to no enjoyment sitting through it, and I just thought the performance was just so showy, and there was just such a lack of subtlety in it. I'm really put off by Darkest Hour, Dragon, all right?
I gotta tell you, this is totally counterintuitive to what you told me the first time you
told maybe I just had time to stew on it. I don't know.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying, I'm just a little shocked by it on air right now. I just want to say that to you and the folks.
So I think that Timothée Chalamet absolutely should win. Like 1,000%, I'm rooting for Chalamet.
And again, I'll say this. Okay, so
I think Gary Oldman 100% will win. Like, I think he's a lock upon locks. But Timothée Chalamet, if there's one person that could beat Gary Oldman, it's him. And Dragon, I'll be thrilled if Chalamet wins.
I'll say this much. So again, big snub Hugh Jackman, who absolutely would have won it. I think if he deservingly had, out of all of them, he seems like he delivered the Oscar performance. I'm just saying, for that, and it would have been a legacy.
Like him being on there, much like Patrick Stewart, would have had the legacy factor going.
It would have had even more than Patrick Stewart would have had the legacy of this the Logan story. It
would have been for Patrick Stewart. It would have been the legacy of him as an actor. With Hugh Jackman, it would have been the legacy of a character.
And again, it would have also we'll have another thing with Logan a little later on. But the point is, so Hugh Jackman absolutely, I think it was a very notable snub. So I guess we're coming out. Yeah, I'm assuming Gary Oldman's going to win. I guess looking at, I mean, again, I haven't seen Calling by Your Name. I mean, I'll just out of good faith, I'll root for the guy. But out of the ones I've seen, I'll say again, Daniel Kaluuya seems to be. I'd like to. Hey, it'd be nice if Daniel Kaluuya won. But again, honestly,
I really like if Daniel Kaluuya won. Actually,
again, it'd be nice.
I
It'd
mean,
be
if
nice.
the one, it'd definitely be sort of like a, hey, we're giving it to the hot up and coming talent award. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But
But
by the same token, we like Oldman wouldn't be winning, and Dragon. This is like it's weird to be rooting against Gary Oldman, but this is the world we live in now, I guess.
I mean, that's the thing, T. Where again, it sounds like, just again from what I've heard, it sounds like Chamblamet.
Chalamet.
Chalamet. I don't know why he keeps. Yes, Chalamet. I think he. It sounds like he. It sounds like he deserves it. But again, honestly, even if it's, again, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying. I don't know. Again, I guess just Oldman's going to get it anyway. I'm just saying. I like Oldman, but again, I get it. I get all your reasons. You're absolutely right in your reading from the sound of things. I haven't seen it myself, but it's. I just give it to Oldman blind.
I don't think people are going to look back on Darkest Hour 6 months ago and fucking remember it 6 months from now.
And again,
I really don't think it has any staying power.
And again, that's fair. And you sound passionate, but I have to watch the movie before I can really make that judgment. So that's where I'm kind of at on. I mean, I would blindly, I bet on Oldman getting. I kind of blindly would root for Oldman getting it, but it sounds like Chalamet deserves it. So I'll go with you that much on it.
Okay.
All
right. Let's go for Best Picture, Dragon. Which honestly, this is the most open-ended Best Picture race I've seen in a long time.
Okay, now firstly, let's say this. Now that they couldn't have just had like an even 10. They couldn't just have like an even 10.
Well, it's the same situation with Deadpool, right?
That's what I'm saying. But regardless,
granted, I feel like Dragon. I'm sorry. All right, Deadpool.
I know. Yeah,
great movie. It's Logan is clearly the better Best Picture contender.
You're right. Look, I'm not arguing. Don't worry about it. Yes, you're right about that. I'm just saying again.
The thing that annoys me more is that there was literally nobody talking about the possibility of Coco getting nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, and that's
to me, that was kind of like a foregone conclusion that it wasn't going to get any love there. And to me, I honestly feel like out of any Pixar film ever, Coco was the one that deserved Best Picture. Deserved to win Best Picture.
And Pixar's had 4 films that are definitely Best Picture contenders. If not, they've been nominated. Like a few of them, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, 2 of them have been nominated for Best Picture, which should have got it. And of course, the other, Inside Out and Coco would be the other contenders that should be nominated and should have had a good shot at getting it. But yeah, I mean, again, 10th spot, absolutely. Logan should have been the 10th spot, absolutely. I mean,
so I'm just going to kind of take away the things that I just frankly don't think should be nominated here.
I'm sorry, real quick, just. I want to get in there real quick before you go off on a bio just go on. But also because people are campaigning for this one. Some people are campaigning for Logan, but then the thing kind of stole Logan's thunder in terms of campaigning. Wonder Woman, which honestly, even if that was nominated, I'd be happy that I got nominated. It's been ages since a comic book film has been, in the Best Picture category. It's been ages.
Wonder Woman, I am surprised didn't get anything, but by the same token, Wonder Woman is just to me, the fact that Wonder Woman didn't get anything kind of frankly kind of proves my point that Wonder Woman is a very culturally significant movie that didn't do anything that special. Anyways.
Well, yeah, as I'm saying again, it would have been nice to have one of those films. Again, they're both kind of mild. They're both kind of big things for comic book films, but again, they didn't get anything. But again, Logan definitely deserved it. Wonder Woman would have been nice to see on there. So regardless, the 10th spot remains empty, and my heart breaks a little. So keep going.
All right, so the nominees are Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards.
I just want to point out the Oscars would not be. The Oscars go by a lot faster if we announce the names, and we'd announce them right because we just go up there, we go a little podium, we insist that there be a podium, we just read off the names, and we just be real quick about it. We don't have to worry about the clips, we just okay, folks. Here's what's nominated. Here's what we think should win.
3 billboards, just 3 billboards. Whereas in the actual show, I'm sure every time they say it, they're going to say 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing, Dragon. You can get away. You can get rid of Darkest Hour. You can get rid of Phantom Thread. You can get rid of The Post. No problem.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like none of those three movies deserves a Best Picture nomination.
And you know, we could have made room for. We could have made room for Coco, for Logan, for Wonder Woman. Could have made room for all of them.
Disaster Artist for one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're right. I keep slipping my mind. Yeah, but let's say let's leave Wonder Woman off. Disaster Artist could have been on there.
Yeah, I mean,
you know. Yeah.
Okay, The Post. Look, the reason to see The Post is for the Bob Odenkirk and David Cross reunion. All right, that's the reason to see.
Yes,
it's not a great movie.
Well, and the setup for a cinematic biopic universe.
Well, yes, the cinematic biopic universe is kind of interesting.
I'm
Phantom Thread is a very, very complex, like, what the fuck did I just watch kind of movie. It's almost kind of like a more digestible version of the movie Mother. So really, I don't understand what Phantom Thread is doing on there, just besides Daniel Day-Lewis. And Darkest Hour, you know my thoughts on Darkest Hour.
It's Lincoln as a seamstress. Sorry, that was
having said that, as much as I've kind of been bleh about Three Billboards, I do think it deserves to be nominated for Best Picture, just because politically it definitely does strike where the iron's hot. It is a very searing movie. It's got a lot of really good performances in it. It's got some memorable characters. I can't complain about Three Billboards being nominated for Best Picture. I really can't. It didn't strike a chord with me like it did for a lot of other people, but, you know, I definitely don't think it doesn't deserve to be nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, for me, so I guess I absolutely, what I really want to win, what I think should win, again, no surprise, really, but again, Shape of Water. I really want Shape of Water to win. What I think will win, though, again, was as much as I love Shape of Water, as I love it to win. Again, I'm pulling for it to win, folks. I really am. And again, also, to a lesser extent, Dunkirk. It'd be great to see that win, too. Again, just to give Nolan something. But regardless, Shape is what I want to win, but what will win, for political reasons, I'm expecting Three Billboards to win. I'm expecting the Oscars to be fickle, and hopefully they won't say the wrong name. And
if Three Billboards wins this year, it's basically going to be like Crash.
I really hope Kimmel's not going to do a thing intentionally to poke fun, like, and the winner is, and like he's going to like orchestrate a thing where something goes wrong, like all the names are called, and then everyone's just puzzled. Okay, no, seriously, guys, here's
Dragon. I actually think it's kind of a two-way race between Shape of Water and Dunkirk, from my perspective, with maybe Three Billboards as like an outside third. I think Three Billboards. I think that has more of a chance in the acting categories.
Well, I'll tell you this, T. Based on the evidence of the award shows, bear in mind they were not the Oscars, but still, just based on the trends of the award shows, Three Billboards, it seems to be a dead. Not just based on like any wins, I'm saying based on the climate in those award shows. For those political reasons, Three Billboards is going to get it.
Okay.
I'm just saying politically, I have no doubt that Three Billboards is going to get it. And what should, like, again, as Tiki, I'm going to quote Tiki here because he had a perfect quote earlier on. Again, if you're a fan of film, I'm going to paraphrase, Tiki. If you're a fan of filmmaking, you're going to go Shape of Water or Dunkirk, but Shape of Water. That's what should.
Also, Dragon, I want to kind of just shine a spotlight on our culture in general about just how mature everyone's being about Call Me By Your Name. Where, 10 plus years ago, we had Brokeback Mountain, and then there was like the endless meme about it being the gay cowboy movie and whatnot. Dragon, we got none of that with Call Me By Your Name. Call Me By Your Name is just, it's a beautiful movie. It's about human connection and human love. It doesn't matter if it's between a man and a man or a man or a woman. It's a universal experience. And for that reason, Dragon, I think personally, like, if you're going to give it to a movie for political reasons, give it to Call Me By Your Name, because Call Me By Your Name, I feel, just has a far better, far more positive political message than Three Billboards. Three Billboards is very cynical. Three Billboards is very much just the world is going to shit. Call Me By Your Name is about fucking hope for humanity. You know what I mean? And as is Shape of Water, give you. It's funny, Dragon. I think you'd like Call Me By Your Name because there are some similarities between Call Me By Your Name and Shape of Water, at least in terms of the outcast thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's very different. It's very different structure, and Call Me by Your Name obviously doesn't have the fantasy stylings of Del Toro, but
I mean, I get what you're saying there, Teague. And again, I do see the similarities there in premise, and again with the love story. And I think Del Toro, though, I think he kind of economized the sell a little more for me with just that line of it's a fairy tale for troubled times, or it's a love story fairy tale for troubled times. And again, I do see that a similarity.
I gotta say, like, I do think that Shape of Water is probably the front runner for me.
Yeah, and again, I'm just saying, I think what it has over Call Me by Your Name. Bear in mind, I haven't seen the movie, just based on like the trailer and what you've told me and all the stuff. Though the one thing I think Shape of Water would have over Call Me by Your Name in terms of like being kind of the love story to get it is that, again, it's just that visual spectacle and the simplicity that Shape of Water has, while still, again, I think it just,
of course, what Call Me by Your Name lacks in like fantastical elements, it makes up for in just like the gorgeous like visual porn scenery of northern Italy. So, Call Me by Your Name is visually spectacular in its own right.
I will voice one thing. There is a cheap joke that I will be kind of crossing my fingers that does not get mentioned on that Kimmel or someone will not. Again, there's always an opening model. I'm not going to say what the joke is out of respect for Call Me by Your Name, but all I'm going to say is that I'm.
Is it the American Pie joke?
No. I wasn't thinking of it.
Call Me by Your Name that a lot of people have joked is very similar to American Pie. I'll leave that to your imagination.
Okay, I can only imagine one thing with that, but regardless, my point is there's a very cheap
pie with a tangerine, and that's all you need to know.
Oh God. Now I'm thinking it could go two ways, and I'm really hoping it's the first way with the tangerine. Oh God. Anyway.
Okay, I just want to assure you, in the movie, it's played very subtly, and it's a nice kind of like, it's a nice way to show like where the two of them are, in their relationship, like, what each of them is thinking at the time. Anyways,
regardless, what I'm saying is there's a very cheap, like kind of a cheap joke that could be made in the opening monologue that I hope Kimmel, and Kimmel's a smart guy. Kimmel's, he's pretty good at the opening monologues.
I'm gonna go race through New York with Jimmy Kimmel in a couple weeks. Dragon, aren't you excited about that?
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's got a new attraction at Universal Studios.
God.
Called Race Through New York with Jimmy Kimmel.
God, that sounds like such a ridiculous notion. Anyway.
I like my trip, bro. I mean, the 3 hours of, of deserted Magic Kingdom that I'm paying $120 for. No, that's nothing. I'm looking forward to fucking ride through New York with Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay, my point is I hope Jimmy Kimmel is going to be smart enough not to make a cheap observational joke about Call Me by Your Name, factoring in the political climate. That's all I'll say. Basically, if he can make a really political climate joke about Call Me by Your Name, I'm going to assume he's going to be smart enough.
But like I said, that is the thing that's impressed me about just the way that basically media and film critics in general have approached to discussing Call Me by Your Name is there haven't been jokes. There hasn't been like, oh, it's the gay love story. It really is just like people much like me who kind of went into that movie expecting it to be a little bit pandering, expecting it to be a little bit political. And I came out of it, and Dragon, I told you, I sold you on it. Like, the reason why Call Me by Your Name is so powerful is it's such a universally relatable story. It doesn't matter what the gender is. Anyways.
All right. And, it's kind of weird. Like, again, I hate speaking so much about Call Me by Your Name without having seen it because I feel a little silly. But all I'm going to say is with Shape of Water, it seems like it's kind of a mixture of, again, you can make like a 3-part mixture, a 2-part, whatever you want to look at. It could be basically part Call Me by Your Name in terms of the relationship, like a different type of relationship shown. Some Wall-E in there, most definitely, with the mute characters and the flair for old music. And if you want to reach for a third, you could say there's a bit of La La Land in there, kind of the old
film. A little bit of The Artist as well.
There's, there's more. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of The Artist in there. Because again, I keep, they keep thinking of the music. There's definitely an artist. There's definitely an artist vibe.
Also, just to highlight it, as a horror movie fan, I know it's not going to win, but it does my heart good to see Get Out nominated for Best Picture, Dragon.
Yeah, it is nice.
Okay, and also, I mean, let's not, like, I don't think either of us are going to lose any sleep, even though it's not our personal horse. My personal horse is Call Me By Your Name. Your personal horse is Shape of Water.
Oh, yeah.
If Dunkirk wins,
yeah,
like,
I'm going to be happy with
that's
that.
That's going to be a very satisfying conclusion, right?
Yeah, that's our failsafe. Like, hey, if Dunkirk wins, we're still going to be like, yeah, Dunkirk.
Exactly. I'm totally going to be cheering for Dunkirk.
Dunkirk.
Dragon,
yeah,
honestly, Call Me By Your Name, Call Me By Your Name, Shape of Water, and Dunkirk are probably the three most likely. As you mentioned, I think the big upset that I would be genuinely kind of like, well, that was a waste considering the lineup would be Three Billboards.
Yeah,
I don't think The Post has a chance. I don't think Phantom Thread has a chance. I hope Darkest Hour doesn't have a chance. Get Out or Lady Bird, if they somehow ended up winning, I'd be okay with that, just because, like, hey, a comedy or a horror movie ended up winning Best Picture. Neat.
yeah, Three Billboards, though, that one's going to be like an eye roll win for me. It's like,
yeah, I agree. That one is going to be the definitive, like, all right, here we go. Crash all over again.
Are you happy, politics? You won.
But you know, the ironic thing about that is that it would also beat out a gay movie.
Huh.
With Call Me By Your Name, it'd be like, because Crash beat out Brokeback Mountain.
Huh.
So it'd be history repeating itself in a way.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, let's hope. So again, I guess it's kind of in retrospect. So again,
like I said, I just want to clarify, like, it's not that Three Billboards is a bad movie. It's worthy of Best Picture, stacked up against Shape of Water, Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, even stuff like Get Out. I would even say stuff like, I would say Lady Bird's probably a little bit better than Three Billboards. I mean, after that, I definitely like Three Billboards better than Darkest Hour. I like it better than Phantom Thread. I like it better than The Post, but, you know, even still.
But yeah, we definitely have a number of good films on this up for consideration here. Definitely a number of. I'm not saying all 9, but definitely a number.
I think just in general, the big thing that pisses people off about the nominations this year is the severe lack of Logan.
Yeah,
it really should have been Logan's year.
Really should have been, yeah. And that's like the only thing. If that were on there, that'd be the only thing for me that would like make me question, like, oh boy, man, much I love Shape of Water. I mean, Logan was, again, it's kind of funny. They both had really personal, impactful endings. Like, again, like the ending of Shape of Water. I think I won't give away what it is. I'm just saying, the end of Shape of Water is that, oh my god, it kind of makes my heart sing. It's like, oh my god, this is a beautiful, like, kind of masterpiece kind of build of an ending. It's kind of. It's wonderfully kind of constructed, like it comes to a certain like kind of masterful point. It's like,
and you see, I'm glad you bring up the comparison, Dragon, because I have very similar feelings about Call Me By Your Name.
Yeah, and with Logan, again, Logan just it's the perfect ending for that character, and it's like, yes, it's like, oh, it's like thematically everything comes together there with Logan. Story wise, I think. Visually and emotionally, the ending of Shape of Water is just, just everything comes together. And while the emotion is still there, I think story-wise, everything comes together with Logan and with a single visual image. So again, they both have that in common. And again, they're both, good throughout. Just one's more romantic, one's a little more depressing, but still powerful. Both powerful in their own regards. Anyway, so the point is, yeah, we have that's the Oscars. Our bets have been placed, folks.
When are the Oscars, Dragon? I believe they're going to be when I'm in Florida.
It should be the first week of March, probably on a Sunday.
So I will probably be in Universal Studios that day.
So that should be the 4th, I think. 4th of March, I think. First Sunday in March, which. Yeah, I think that's
March 4th or something like
that.
Yeah,
March 4th, most definitely. Yes, 4th Sunday. Yep, that's the one.
Okay, trust me, all those days from March 26th to March 5th are like ingrained in my head, Dragon. Anyways. Okay, Dragon, to take us out, would you mind giving us your best Mark Rylance?
And the winner for Best Picture is Dunkirk.